Hello everyone, welcome to Plunger Planet. I'm your host George, and welcome back. I hope everyone had a great day today. Hope you're able to accomplish whatever you set out to do. As for us over here at Plunger Planet, been quite the exciting day. Been quite a bit of drama in the crypto sphere. Thankfully, we were able to benefit a good bit from all the volatility. We'll get into that momentarily, but first, let's review all the medias. So, of course, as always, starting with the YouTube channel, Plunger Planet YouTube. Our most recent video published 23 hours ago is up to 4 views down here. And our subscriber count is still at 23 subscribers. Very nice. Moving on to X, we are still at 38 followers over here. Very nice as well. And of course, our sub, which is up to 1,307 plunger enthusiasts. And just to save time, I refreshed it a moment ago, but we can refresh it again. 10 minutes down here on the new daily, 25 now. And if it will load for me, there we are. Let's see. If plunger enthusiast will load for me. 1,307, correct. And finally, no, actually, I'm sorry, that was the final for the media review. But first things first, let's get into our price reviews. And as always, starting with the Plunger token itself. Of course, full disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not a plumber. I just like the token. And with that being said, Plunger had a very good day today, all things considered, especially considering Bitcoin was down, Bitcoin was down. Yet thankfully, we were able to scratch up a little bit higher. 2.44% up on the day, Plunger is, and we are still at roughly the same amount of holders, just over 1,000. And yeah, not too much to say on the technical here, other than very happy to see a little bit of an upspurt, especially a kill of that downtrend. Very nice to see, and we'll just hope we were able to follow it along with Bitcoin, hopefully on a way back up. Speaking of Bitcoin, let's get into their price report. Of course, full disclaimer, this is not financial advice. This is not construction zone. I just like Bitcoin. And with that being said, fortunately, a little bit of a rougher day for Bitcoin, but definitely not as bad as it could have been. It still kept plenty of its gains from yesterday when it had the nice little pump up, and it's only down 1.93%. So, do I think this is the guarantee of the continuation of the downtrend? No, absolutely not at all. I think you could definitely still say the downtrend is in play. I think you could definitely still argue it's more bearish than overall. However, I wouldn't discount yesterday's gains. I mean, we're still keeping some of yesterday's gains along with looking forward for a brighter tomorrow, because what we have to look at is, well, Bitcoin had a very rough day. I'm sorry, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a very rough day with all the drama going on, which we'll get into momentarily with their price report. But Bitcoin, unfortunately, just had to suffer about that being, of course, in the crypto market itself. So, do I think this will be a detrimental? Do I think the downtrend's in play here? No. I genuinely think Bitcoin can still determine its own destiny from here. And honestly, especially from how the sub is getting, I'm not sure how you guys feel, but for me personally, I feel like the sub's becoming a little bit more bullish. I know we were very bearish recently. We had a lot of people asking, hey, how do I sell? Hey, I've been here from the start, but I really just got to get out. Can you please help me get da 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 da, all that stuff. And I was kind of reading this bearish sentiment, but I mean, it wasn't really, I guess you could say, overwhelming to an extent. So that was helpful, and also it was, of course, a very nice community. Our community is fantastic, probably the best on Reddit, if not genuinely the best, but very biased on that. But cones being great, and yeah, you look around today and I see a lot more memes. I mainly see everybody just talking about the Bitcoin drama, and yeah, I would argue the sentiment is changing for the better. Maybe we can hopefully see a bullish sentiment arise in the next few days. But as for me, I'm fine right here. Maybe not buying here, because I think you're really going to want to either see another big movement, which whether that be down or up, nevertheless, if you have to buy Bitcoin a little bit more expensive or cheaper, I'm willing to, take that little YOLO, especially with the bag I already have. As for, what I think we'll see in the, upcoming, weeks, I'll be honest, I still think it relies on the actual Bitcoin ETF news, not the drama that happened today. Speaking of Bitcoin, let's get into the final price report of the day, their price report. And boy, there's a lot to talk about here. So, we'll of course go in and actually, I'm going to do something unprecedented. I know we normally do Bitcoin's price review, then the news, and we ended off with the news. But let's get into the news, because the news is so insane, and it basically explains why Bitcoin's going through what it is. So, Bitcoin fell actually pumped on the SEX social media announcing that it was approving all ETFs, which a lot of people were expecting. So yay, ETF approved, Bitcoin pumps. Then immediately after, Gary, the head of the SEC itself, comes out and says it was compromised. It was a complete fake tweet, and it was detrimental. As you can see, the huge pump up here, and then we just have this massive crash after they realized it was fake, and now we're starting to settle out. But I'll say this, and again, not financial advice on either one of these, the news review or the Bitcoin review. I'm just a Reddit degen, but I mean, this is depressing. Not the price wise, that's just it's what it is. But the head of the Security Exchange has to come out and basically just admit, hey guys, our Twitter, yeah, it got compromised. And then it comes out that they don't even have two-step verification, which I don't believe it says here. But there's a CoinGraph article, which I almost pulled up over this one. I just really liked this one, that said there was not secondary, second verification approval on the Twitter account. It's like, how do you allow that to happen for the official SEC Twitter account? Like, who allows that? So, clown world, very sad, really. But we could sit here, could talk about that all day. We all know the sex a joke. We all know the system is a joke. I'm not about to get into this whole rant, but you guys get the point. And basically, yeah, I just want to make sure we were all cut up on the same page. The ETF now has not been approved, nor has it been denied. Gary just basically said, no news had dropped on it, right? We still should know this week, though, a definitive answer. But yeah, just with the, I guess you could say the exposing of the SEC and then, this little, fake out, it really scared spooks of people. So unfortunately, yeah, we had that big pop up and then that big pop down. And yeah, I guess that kind of does it for the, Bitcoin price review. That's basically all I wanted to cover. Was basically just we were looking very good. This was about 5 minutes in real time. This was about a 5-minute pump. And let me tell you, those 5 minutes, it literally was, 5-minute pump, as you can see right here. And let me tell you, those 5 minutes were glorious. Literally over $1,000 in those 5 minutes. And it felt strong. I mean, everybody was rooting for it. The volume was there. There was just buy order after buy order. You were not seeing red. And I genuinely think this would have carried us well over 50,000 and then possibly talking about a new all-time high. But because of not even any fault of our own now, because the fault of the SEC and their not second verificating their Twitter, we are now dealing with the fallout of a little bit of a scandal. Mainly not even us, but just, it technically has our name attached to it. And of course, they're going to throw us under the bus to make themselves look better. So yeah, unfortunate situation, but as always, could definitely be worse. And I won't even consider it like a long-term bad situation. Because again, it's their mess up. Who I consider this bad long for? Absolutely the SEC. Because again, it just completely exposed them as the clowns they were. I mean, this isn't by far the worst thing they've done. They've done much more terrible things than this. But I mean, this just puts it on full display. I mean, everybody was waiting for this. You knew how big this was for everybody. And then you're just going to go ahead and let your Twitter get hacked and, literally manipulate the market. If some influencer did this, a YouTuber or Twitch streamer or whatever, were to try to do anything like this that caused this type of pump and dump in Bitcoin, people would be getting arrested. But because it's the guys at the top who made the mistake, they're going to clean their own selves. They're going to wipe their own record, and they're going to review themselves and say nothing was wrong, as per usual. Again, not trying to stoke a revolution, basically just saying the facts that I'm pretty sure all of us know, at least subconsciously, right? Speaking of subconsciously, something I've been thinking about just to make sure I didn't forget it. Word of the day. The word of the day is halving. Bitcoin halving, that's the one thing we can definitely look forward to because it has nothing to do with a stinky government. Not to say any in particular government is stinky. I think pretty much, I think we can all agree, once a government, actually, let's not get into that rant. The word of the day, the word of the day is halving. Right, guys? I'm sorry if I'm really upset about this, SEC news. If we were denied, that's one thing, right? If we were approved, that's another thing. But we are now down because of the fault of the people who are proposed to protect us. Nevertheless, the word of the word of the day is halving. If nobody down below has commented the word halving, comment the word halving and your Polygon address, and you will be the first person. If you are the first person, you will win word of the day, and I will send you 1,505 Plunger tokens. So again, just be the first person to comment halving in your Polygon address, and you will win word of the day. And that will do it for us today, guys. Yeah. So nothing necessarily too much in our sphere, mainly just all of us kind of reacting to the whole Bitcoin scandal, the whole SEC scandal. Very disappointing on their part. Very, I guess you'd say, self-admitting of how poorly they're running things. But yeah, nothing necessarily on our fault, just we're caught up in it because, again, it's our name attached to it. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video today. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And with that all being said, have a good one.